Good evening, guys. Welcome to a Sunday night stream even with me, Peter, here in the middle of Bangkok. Okay, good to have you in, over 100 in already. I just want to say a quick hi to Jesse. I don't actually need this anymore. It's just for the beginning. I'll take this out. Say hi to Jesse. He's in the States, and I know his time, he should be gone to bed about now. I do read all your messages, Jesse. Sometimes I don't respond as much as you do, but sometimes you catch me right in the middle of stuff like editing and just about to go live. But hi, glad you can join for a little while anyway. And let's go right to the beginning and see who's in. Huey McPhee, I've got a terrific story, but not very good on the computer. How do I tell it to you? That's the only way, basically. I've had guys send messages and say, can I meet you in a cafe somewhere and I'll tell you my story? Well, it just doesn't work because, one, I'm going to forget most of the details in there. And two, I can't sit there in a cafe dictating your story. The only way to get a story is to send it in an email and I can edit it a little bit and read it out. That's the only way I can do it. I've had a few guys who have sent messages to me and they said, oh, have you seen this YouTuber? He's just started up. And or have you seen this guy? He's copied your format exactly. And I did go and have a look at a few of them. And there's one guy in particular, I think he's got about 17,000 subscribers. And I can tell what he's done. He's bought my book and he's taking stories from my book and he's reading them on his own channel. And you don't actually see his face. He just has like background film. So I thought, well, what can I do about these guys who rip me off, right? There's nothing wrong with somebody starting their own YouTube channel and telling stories. I mean, it's not exclusive to me. That's fine. But there is something wrong, when people steal your work. So I think with this guy, what I'll do, I'll let him work his nuts off, as it were, and just when he's about to monetize, I'll take the proof to YouTube and say, look, the guy's stolen this thumbnail, that story, and they'll just demonetize his site, or they'll give him a couple of strikes and he'll be gone. So I don't like it when people steal my stuff. I know the stories are sent in, so technically I don't own them, but I've been given permission to read them. So why should somebody just buy my book? And it's not right, is it? But anyway, right, not that I've noticed. Right, Chris, how are you doing? Martin Ryder, afternoon. Yeah, okay. Yeah, where is the president? He commented on one of the videos today. Right, Bamboo. Good evening, Peter and Mongers. Right, Bamboo. I got your point. I did. I commented. You do you respect me bit and all that. I get it now. I thought here's another one who's jumped on the bandwagon. Here's $100 towards your lunch. Maybe let's hope so. I've got a surprise for you in the member stream tonight. Jason Geezers. Let's put that up there. Hi, Peter and the crew. So big shout out from Sapan that's N20 on the BTS line. Jason's just moved here like I have, but unlike myself, who's chosen to live right in the heart of Sukhumvit, Jason's living out in the sticks. He rubs two sticks together to make his porridge in the morning. He's literally miles away. Right, Paul Hoskins, how are you doing? Here's $100 towards your lunch. Hey, Peter, is the thumbnail girl a lady boy? No, I believe it's a real lady. Robster, afternoon, evening, Peter and chat. Prince Fergus, how you doing? All the way in from South Dakota. Graham Hawkins, hi. I'll put that up because I don't know what that name says. Is it Cinepes? Hello, Peter and people. How is it going? It's going very, very well. And talking to the president, there he is. Good evening, sir. Hi, Peter, the local president in the building. Good to see you. Steve the Butcher, how you doing? Wayne Ritchie, handsome man. Hi, handsome. Oh, you sent it to me now again. Hi, handsome man. How you doing? And I hope you're good with Marley. Yeah, actually, Marley's been really busy for the last couple of weeks, but we'd planned to do a video. I was going to do it with Jason, one of the viewers, so three of us, me, Marley, and Jason. I won't tell you what it is, but it's an outside video, and we planned to. We were going to do that on Wednesday, but it was forecast storms. We're in the rainy season now, and it's difficult to get out there and film sometimes. Sometimes you think, well, we won't go today. It's forecast a storm, and you don't get a drop. Another day you think, well, it's going to be good today. You go out. And, it's just bucketing down. We've had a lot of rain lately. So I kind of cancelled it. And then I said to Marley, well, look, let's do it on Monday. But now she's busy again. And then Tuesday, I've got to take my car in for a service. So I don't know when we're going to do it. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday. But I want to do another video with Marley. It's been about 3 weeks now and she's still around. So we'll see how it goes. David Pipe, loving the girl on the member stream. Yeah, she's nice. No name. Hi, Peter and gang. George, how you doing? HYP. Javier, good evening, chef. Yeah, that was my first attempt. I'll tell you what I'm going to do as well. Good evening, chef. How are you doing, Peter? Hope you enjoyed your lovely dinner last night. What Javier is referring to is, I don't know why, I made some dinner and I just took a little video and put it up. And then afterwards, I thought, oh, that was a bit silly thing to do. But what I've decided to do, because I've always been a family man and my wife's cooked for me, great cook and everything. And now I'm out here. I started eating out the first 2 months I was here in Pattaya. But now I do a lot of cooking. And I thought, wouldn't it be good to kind of show everyone what I actually eat? Because I do make the effort. You know, I chop up onions and tomatoes and peppers and chilies, and I go out and buy the beef and the chicken and the stock and everything. And I've made curries, I've made stews, but I thought it'd be nice if I kind of like start the video with all the ingredients. You know, I know it's not a cooking channel, but something different. Start the ingredients with all the ingredients, video, put it all together, show you a cooking, and then show you the final product. Maybe a 5-minute video on each thing, but that might not be your cup. You know, you might not like it, but some people would like it, so I might give it a go. Jeremy, a man who loves his food. Hi Peter, my gosh, the week's gone so fast, and you have been just about 1 year. Looking forward to stream. Yeah, coming up for a year now this time around. Have to do my visa again end of November. Jim, always contact. I don't hear from Jim, Alphabet Jim. Haven't heard from him for a week. 5 minutes before the stream, he starts sending me pictures and messages. How you doing, Jim? Max Veit, good evening. How you doing, Max? Met Max once. I just want to say hi. I don't know if he's watching, but I went over to the Al Hussein restaurant today. You know, the Indian / Arabic that I go to at least 2 times a week. And excuse me, I've just put a video up about it. And as always, being a Saturday, I woke up and I didn't have any breakfast and I was messing about on the computer. And I thought, you know what, it's Indian day. And I went on the scooter, went down there. And as I got there, this is about 2 o'clock, I guess, 1:30. There's a guy kind of mooching about looking at the food. He looked like he wasn't sure how to order or what he was doing. And I come up to the glass and he says, "Oh, it's you. He said, "I've only come here because you put that video up last week." Nice guy. I think his name was Dave. I think his name's David. He's an Australian guy, organizes events in Australia. He's built a house for his long-term girlfriend. I forget where he said, it's up country somewhere. Looks very, very nice. Showed me photographs, but I wasn't expecting him to buy me lunch. So he was on his own. And I said, you know, you on your own? He's like, yeah. I said, well, I'm on my own. Come and join me. We had a nice lunch together. We exchanged a few war stories, as it were. And yeah, he ended up buying me lunch. I didn't expect it. Very, very generous and very kind. So if you do watch this, David, even on the rerun, thanks a lot. And it was good to meet you. Right. I brought them so much business over there at the Al Hussein. And you know, they've never even given me a slice of naan bread for free. Pay for everything. Who else we got? I was just trying to see if Damon's in yet. I don't know. I don't think he's a bit early for him. Right. Handsome Mongo. Hi, everyone. I'll whiz through these now, a bit behind. 20 Rothmans. Hi, everyone. Lucky Aussies with Monday off and Germans also. Okay. Nicholas Hall. Hi, Peter. Hope all is well. Going to Pattaya in a few weeks. You recently recommended a hotel. Yeah, that was the Blackwoods Hotel. I used to stay in the one nearly opposite called the Flipper House. There's a Flipper Lodge on Soy 8 and there's a Flipper House on Soy 7. Flipper House is okay. I fell out with them over a small issue, so I wouldn't be put off there. That is that's a very good hotel with clean rooms. I had a little issue which shouldn't put anybody off, but I now stay at the Blackwoods across the road. It's a little bit expensive, but it's a 3-year-old hotel. Soy 7, fantastic, absolutely fantastic rooms. Let's put these up before we go any further. So look, the currencies are doing well against the baht this week, but for some reason the Australian dollar's dropped quite a bit. It's dropped by about 3 baht since last week. I don't know what's going on with this Australian dollar, but as you can see, all the others have gone up. And the UK pound now, believe it or not, 44 baht 95 satang. So a good time to move money across. The problem is, when I have Indian food, I always drink a lot of water. Very salty, I think. And I went over to Simon's house today on the scooter to Bangwa and had a roast. So I've kind of eaten a lot today. And I've gotten into the healthy, apart from today, I've gotten into the healthy bit. I'll tell you about that later. Hi, Yami. How you doing? Is it Susie? No names. Okay, talking to each other. Clive Allen. Okay, a lot of messages from Susie. Deke, how you doing, Deke? Good to have you in. Right, Paul Hoskin. New York is known as the Big Apple. What would Bangkok be known as? It's known for something. It's got something like that, isn't it? It's the land of smiles. No, that's Thailand, isn't it? Bangkok. I have to think about that. Ivan 2, delusional talk, Peter paranoid. Okay, thank you, Ivan. I love you too. Let's just get rid of this joker. Okay, he's gone. Right, no name. Hi to 10-year-old. I don't know what that means. Oh, is that so? Okay, I'll put that up there. Maybe that's a relation or something. Hi to 10-year-old. Is it Pecan? I hope I pronounced that right. Rain in Blood 123. Bahol, there's no Philippines equivalent of Peter and his channel. There's a lot of guys got channels in Philippines. I've seen some guys in the Philippines do tell stories and stuff, but I do a lot more than the stories these days. Okay, let me just get rid of that. Put a bit of advertising up there. Okay. I think I'm up to date on the comments. Wow, that's the first time. Pupmaster 1, Big Mango. Is that what it's called? But yeah, that's right. It is Big Mango. Okay. I think I've missed a load here. Andrew WCI, hello from Aussie. Okay. Clive Allen, hi Hillary. you're talking to someone else. Aussie Rules, haven't said hi to you. Good day to you, Peter. Really enjoyed your vlog of the Indian restaurant. You should try it if you're staying around Sukhumvit. I don't get any commissions or free dinners or anything like that. I just made the video because I thought it was quite a cool place. And I found out most of the staff are Bangladeshis. But, you know, the service is great. It's cheap. The food's good. I've never got sick there. I had one guy left a comment. He said, oh, yeah, you know, I went there once and I was sick as a dog. It ruined my week's holiday. But I totally don't believe him. You know, I haven't been sick in 25 years. Okay, so let me talk about, oh, hang on. Ricardo, the big mango. Okay, everyone's saying the same thing now. Okay, we know it's a big mango. Letha, Malika. Hi, Peter. Looking forward to the stream. Good. VB305, good morning from, where is that? You're in Miami. Good to have you in the stream. Henrik Jensen. Hi, Peter. Would you consider making fictional stories now you have run out? Nat and Dave was very popular. No, and I'll tell you why. And a lot of people have said to me, why don't you just make up stories, because people won't know the difference? And I think if I make up stories and tell them, they won't come out the same, because I'll know it's like fake and I'll be trying to pass it off as a real thing. So what I've chosen to, I've actually got a couple more stories since last week. The stories that are coming out next Saturday, I've already prepared them. I prepare them a week in advance, and they're a rerun of some stories I told 3 years ago. But the feedback, rather than make up stories, what I'd rather do is go back to the beginning when I started telling them, because I've read over 500 stories out on this channel. So what I did, I went right back to the beginning to about 3 years ago, and I've started reading out the very early ones again. And I wasn't sure how people would take it, but I've had some good feedback. People have said, look, you know, I heard that the first time around, but I couldn't remember it all, and it was great to hear it again. And for some reason, some of the earlier stories were a little bit more gripping. Is that the word? More gripping than the stories that have come in the last sort of 6 months to 8 months. I don't know what it was. Maybe I'm just imagining it. But so for next Saturday, same thing. I'll be rerunning some stories from 3 years ago, but I've since been sent 1 or 2 good stories, which I'll do the following week. Okay, who's that? The Wyman Cowley. I found some outstanding deals on a Golda last time I was in Pattaya. We stayed at Hotel, how do you say that? Akua in October for about $24. Nice rooftop pool. There's a lot of good deals in Pattaya. Pattaya is very good. Very, very good. Yeah, I'll just put that up again there. But with regarding the making up the story, so no, one, I wouldn't. The Nat and Dave, that was made for me, and I haven't been able to find anybody else who can make up to that standard. As I've said many, many times before, if I try to farm it out to the Philippines or India, they won't get it right. You've got to know the bar girls mentality. You've got to know Thailand. You've got to know the bar scene, and you've got to have a Thai girl who can do the voice of Nat, and it's all got to be scripted. And I have tried to get people to do it, but it's just not the same. Simon did a real excellent job. And I've just released last week the full version, because I was missing episode 8 on the one I released last year. So that's doing quite well. Right, JD Travels can't open bank accounts anymore on tourist visas. Yeah, okay, they've changed the rules once again. Okay, Raining Blood 123. In Bangkok, one restaurant wouldn't let me use cash. The sods were entirely cashless. I'm against this cashless. So, yeah, me as well. I mean, I really hate it. You know, I mean, not being able to use cash. And you'll find the other thing is when you presented a bill in a restaurant here, they've started to do what they do in the West. You know, they've started to put VAT and service on the bill. You know, you'll say, well, how much is it? Oh, it's 300, 400 baht. And then you get the bill and it's actually 470 or something. And then you feel obliged to tip the staff. And you think, well, hang on, I've just paid a service charge. Why should I tip again? And I don't like that either. You know, I'd rather just, you know, pay the restaurant in cash, give the waitress who's looking after me 50 baht or whatever it is, 100 baht. And, but it seems a lot more of them are going that way. Anton, could you do a video where you look at public profiles on Thai Friendly and pick out the ladyboys? Could I do one on Thai Friendly, pick out the ladyboys? Maybe. Let me have a think about how I could do that. I'm not sure. I haven't been on Thai Friendly for a long time. Paul Harrison, good evening, Peter. I'll be in Bangkok in 18 days, then going to Khon Kaen. Khon Kaen's different. It's not a seaside town, obviously. I think you've probably got a girlfriend there. I worked in Khon Kaen for 2 years, opened a hotel up there. Dave Bull, Jeff Carter is back in Thailand. Yeah, I just watched one of his videos actually about half an hour ago. He was in Pattaya, walking along the beach road there, and you know, another Pattaya video. Oh, things are falling down here. I did it a couple of weeks ago. Let me just tell you a little bit about the live stream tonight for the members. So when I was out last week, I decided to go on a walkabout for 2 hours. I didn't do the member stream. I just did because when you're walking about holding a camera and it's hot, you know, it's really hard to keep going if you can't have a beer. I mean, I was sweating you know, really sweating last week, but I managed it, and I ended up in Phil's bar, and I was talking to his girls, and then Phil turned up, and we had 10 minutes. I wanted to get back, and but what I've decided to do this week, because that went down so well, I want to do a walkabout here in Bangkok tonight. It's a Sunday night, but I can't do it for 3 hours. You know, with this stream that starts at 9, going right through till midnight, sometimes a little bit more, with a little 15-minute break that lets me go to the toilet and what have you. There's no way I can walk around for 3 hours. It will just kill me. Okay, so what I've decided to do, I'm going to do this stream. I'll probably finish 5 or 10 minutes early just to give me time to set up, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a walk. I think I'm going to head over to Soy 8. Because they've got rumours there, that bar there, and I'm going to have a walk through Soy 8, and I can't make up my mind whether to go cross over and go to the end of Soy 11, or shall I go left and walk along Sukhumvit Road and then turn into Soy 4 and kind of hang around the Nana Hotel and Hooters and, walk down Soy 4 a little bit, then come back onto Soy 7. It's only for about an hour, so I'm not sure. And what I noticed last week as well, when I was walking, the camera was a bit shaky. I've got this other stick now, and this has actually got a little bit of stabilization. There's a button there. When you turn it on, it's kind of stable that way, not that way. But I have got a gimbal which cost me about 6,000 baht, but I can't use it. It's just so heavy. When you're walking around, I find it very, very heavy. And the other thing is you stand out like a sore thumb because it's a cream color and not like that. That just looks like anybody doing a selfie, doesn't it? But people look at it and think, well, he's a YouTuber. So what I've decided to do tonight, the other thing I found out, do you remember last week in the video where I walked down Walking Street, you had the Skyfall? Yeah, the Skyfall Go-Go bar, and the girls were lined up outside. And of course, when you hold your camera, like I'm talking, I held my camera and put it across Skyfall. Well, they could see the screen and they knew they were being filmed. And one of the girls was like, hey, take that out of here, right? But I found out with this software now what I can do. So look, I'm going to use my phone. So if I'm talking to the camera like this to my phone, right? Now, if I turn it around and say, look at that, you can see that I'm recording. So if I point that at somebody down the road, they know I'm recording them, right? But if I've got it this way on a little selfie, which I can have low, and I'm talking, it just looks like I'm talking to somebody because that's what's facing what's in front of me, right? And I found out what I can do. I can actually just put this back on charge. I can actually, so I can walk and I can actually use the back camera and have it. So when I'm walking, you'll see what's in front of me, but you won't see me. But what I'll see is all your comments. So I can walk along, read your comments, and what you'll see is what I see as I'm walking down Sukhumvit. And I'm going to give that a try, and then you can tell me how, if you preferred that or you wanted to see my ugly mug on screen. But we'll give it a go. But I can only do it for the member stream tonight as a trial. As I say, 3 hours is too long, and it's really hot at the moment in Bangkok, really hot. I had to take some Panadol tonight. I drove over on my motorbike over to Simon's, on it for about 45 minutes, Bangwa, 40 minutes. And I was so dehydrated that I had a headache and I had to take some Panadol, and I've taken some more when I got back now. So, and it's just because of the heat, it's ruthless at the moment. Right, Tony, I propose changing it to Big Coconut. Okay, we did the coconut bar. Clive Allen, vlogging a dead horse, my second favorite YouTuber behind Peter. Okay, he's yeah, I've seen a couple of his. He's a different style to me, isn't he? He kind of he does what he wants, basically, doesn't he? He don't care, but fair enough. He's did something different. Martin Ryder says, missing Marley on the channel. Well, I'm hoping to do one, Martin, with her this week outside, but the weather's been a problem at the moment. It's, Raining Blood 123. No fake stories, Peter will lose credibility. This guy's, I'm convinced there's at least one guy out there telling stories every week, and I think he makes half of them up. And that's my opinion, because I know when I'm not naming anybody, but when stories come in, they come in, you read them in a certain way. And even though they're from different people, they read in a particular way. But when you make up a story, it reads very differently. And I've picked up on this. I've watched a couple of his videos, and I think he just makes them up, or he gets them from a book or something. And then there's the other guy who's bought my book and he's just reeling off my stories, But if they want to do that, then, let's see. We'll see give it time. Right. I'm not a vicious, I'm not a nasty person, but, I'm not going to let somebody rip off my work and get away with it. So I will do something about it. Right. Aussie Rules, recent news to tax foreigners' money brought into the country. Have you heard? This is something that, people have been going on now for the last 2 weeks, panicking. And yeah, the Thai government have said they want to tax foreign income that comes in from January, right? But if you've already paid tax, if you're a retiree, for instance, and you're bringing savings across, I don't think they're going to tax that. If you're one of these guys who brings in, you know, you're earning money, you're working overseas, but you're living here and money's coming in every month and it's obviously a salary, then yeah, you'll have to pay tax. But, you know, taxing retirees, they might as well hold up a big sign and say, we don't want any more retirees in Thailand, right? Dumb shit abroad. Looks like they are changing the laws again on the ganja. They're not. They've come out and said they're not going to ban it. Okay, they're not going to ban it. I shouldn't have said the word now. Now it'll get demonetized. But oh well. They've said they're not going to overturn the law. What they've said is they're going to tighten up the rules. They don't want people walking down the street. They don't want people, you know, smoking it in public like they are now. They want it more controlled, you know, and it has to be more medical based. That's what they originally wanted it to. And they want to make sure that the strength isn't strong enough to, you know, let's leave it there. Mara, Martin Ryder, yes, she is great fun. That's Marley. John K. Pattaya is cheap as chips. Can still get a decent hotel for £25 a night most of the year. Yeah, there's a lot of hotels down there. It's still pretty cheap for hotels here in Bangkok as well. You know, Bangkok, I think, has got expensive for the entertainment side of things, you know, ladies, bars, go-go's and all the rest of it. But there's still a lot of things that are cheap. You know, you can still get a taxi fairly cheap. You know, the BTS is cheap. The MRT is cheap. And hotels are very cheap. Right. Let me just say hi to Franco. I'm glad you're in, Franco. Hello, big boy. I'm just at Holyhead waiting to catch the boat to Dublin. Yeah, he's Francesco, we'll call you Sir Francesco. He's on tour tonight. Well, he's driving a large lorry with a band's equipment in the back. But good to have you in, Franco. I'll call you Franco. Right, Paul Harrison. Yes, my going up there to meet my Thai girlfriend's family. Okay, good luck for that. Wayne Cowley, I'm going to Khon the next time. That's about a 6-hour drive from Bangkok, Wayne. I used to do it regularly when I lived up there. Pupmaster 1, a 20-year elite visa has changed from 1 million baht to 5 million baht. What will happen to the retirement visa? They'll make some changes. You know, they want to clap down on organized crime and stuff in Pattaya. There's been quite a lot of it lately. The rules that they made for the retirement visa were made approximately 25 years ago, so they're kind of due for a revamp. As I keep saying every week, because this subject keeps coming up, no, they haven't made any hard and fast rules. They haven't said we are going to do this. They've said two things that might happen. Okay, I think the second one will probably happen, not the first one. The first one they've said is that they might raise the retirement age from 50 to 60. Okay, but I don't think they'll do that. It just doesn't. It's not logical. They were just thinking out loud. Okay. The second thing they did is that they might increase the 800,000 baht. Guessing to maybe 2 million baht. I can't imagine 5 million baht. There'll be no retirees here. I don't think it's anything to panic about at the moment because you know, I've seen them introduce rules that they propose they're going to do, and then they just kind of fizzle away over time. So we'll see. Even the tax thing, you never know. You never know until it's in the Royal Gazette. Then it's definite. Dave Bill. Right, Peter, do you know David Bond? He was watching your stream with his girlfriend. He's a fairly big YouTube. Sent you a link in a comment for your last video. Well, my last video was 18 things you shouldn't do in time. I do know David, and he has been in this stream at least once before because he commented live. He was watching your stream with his girlfriend. He's a fairly big YouTube. Sent you a link in a comment for your last video. Okay, I didn't see any link on that. Let me have a quick look, and I'll tell you what it is. I don't know. No, I didn't see anything from him. Maybe you can give me a bit more details on that. I hope it wasn't anything negative. I hope it was something nice and not, you know, like you suck or something like that. But yeah, he's quite a big YouTuber, isn't he? Darcy, 3 weeks until I'm back in Bangkok. Dutch Farang, hello. Is that the real Dutch Farang? And if it is, I haven't seen you for a long, long time. It doesn't. Yeah, there's two flags. This one kind of looks different. I don't know if it's really you. Right, Mara, our buddy loves Darcy. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Rain in Blood 123. In Pattaya last time, you got those steps in. Yeah. You don't realize when you go out and do a live stream, you're walking about at night because most of the ones I've seen in Pattaya, they're either in the day or they're early in the night and they take it at a very slow pace. But I was like, you know, I was going fairly fast and, you know, I lost a lot of water. I don't know if you remember, my shirt I had on was absolutely, it looked like somebody threw a bucket of water over me. I don't particularly sweat more than anybody else and I wear deodorant, but just it was so humid. When I got back to the hotel, I just had to drink probably 2 liters of water. I was really dehydrated. Dave Bull, I don't really understand what that comment means. Napoleon blown apart, best name on the internet. How you doing? To the Paradise City on a night train. Hillary, someone's a Slim Shady fan. Okay, lots of cryptic messages in here tonight. Jade Speed, did you know the new Meter Ray Band glasses you can stretch without anybody noticing? Yeah, is that no? I haven't heard of them, but are these glasses with a camera in them? Because I've been around for years. Have they got something special out now? Ray Ban glasses. No, I'll look into that. I'll look into it. I don't know if I'm with that though, because people are going to go into go-go bars and stuff, and it's it's okay for us, but it might not be okay for them. Dave Bull, I used to like the old black background where it was like you moving backwards through Bangkok. Do you know what? Believe it or not, I got quite a few complaints. Not complaints. Some people got dizzy, and it made them feel a bit kind of dizzy. It was like the background was Bangkok. I was moving through Bangkok filming, obviously, and I used that as a backdrop. So it looked like somebody was pushing me in a wheelchair around Bangkok, But some people said, "Oh yeah, I couldn't watch it. It made me a bit dizzy." Right, Bamboo. Peter, today Pattaya has some breeze from the sea, way better than last week when you were there. It's typical, isn't it? It's typical. That's why I don't buy lottery tickets. I know they're going to win. Mara, the story making up is not hard with the new story AIs. It's not as easy on the AIs as you think. I've played with them just to see what they churn out. And you can tell they're full stories. I've had a couple sent to me and I've read them. And I knew immediately. I wrote back to the guy. I said, I don't read out AI stories. I didn't even ask him. I just said, I don't read out AI stories. And they're just written in a way that isn't kind of like how we would tell the story. They're good. Like an AI can write a story. I'm from New York. I went to Pattaya. I met the girl who I fell in love with. She was beautiful. Her name was whatever. And it's a nice enough story, but it doesn't come across as genuine. It's not. It doesn't have the details in it that people who have experienced these things with bar girls and go-go dancers and all the rest of it, it doesn't express what's happened to them, to the Paradise City on a night train. Bar girl stories are pretty easy to make up. You'll see a common theme after a while. Yeah, I know. When I started, there was only one other guy doing it here. That was Simon from Land of Smiles. He's a very good storyteller, much better than me. He just told them, he didn't read them like I do. But there's loads of guys trying to do it now. And I've just noticed tonight somebody who, I love his videos, and he does a completely different style to me. He's suddenly starting to tell stories, and I'm like, okay, here we go, another one now. But we'll see how it pans out. I don't just do stories. Right, Wayman Cullen. Yeah, I'll put that there. Yeah, but the thing is, these guys come out here and they think, oh, I'll make a YouTube channel and I can live off it. And it doesn't work like that. Do you know how many people are out here with a YouTube channel now? You've only got to walk around Tree Town. Every other person's got a camera out. Barry Bluebird, hi Simon, no football today. Laugh out loud, so we'll enjoy a few hours. Good stuff. Nearly 300 in now. Good evening if you just joined us. Good to see Brian Flowers is doing live streams again. I did try to catch one of his last week. He comes into this stream sometimes. He was very generous last week. He gave out 50 memberships to people. Vinny again was generous. He gave out a load of memberships. But yeah, I like to watch Brian's streams. Very, very positive. Right, Jerry Massey. Hello from Virginia. Just discovered your channel a couple of weeks ago. Great stuff. I applied for the 20-year Thai Elite visa prior to the price increase. Should be approved in a month or so. Well, first of all, Jerry, thank you for joining the channel. Good to have you in. It's a way to go. If you've got the money to do it and you're under 50, the elite visa is a way to go, but it's very expensive and not everybody can afford it. Gino, Thailand changes way too many times a year. First, they want foreigners to come and bring their money. The next thing you know, if they want to tax you, they want the Chinese, okay? They've just cancelled Chinese people having to make, like if you come from America, Europe, whatever, you don't need to apply for a visa. You just come in, plonk your passport on immigration, bang, 30 days, you're in. Well, that's what they've now done for the Chinese tourists. Okay, so there's going to be a lot more of them coming. The Thais said that the Chinese have put more money into the economy as tourists than any other nation around the world. So they want them here. And that's what they've done with they don't have to apply. The Chinese don't have to apply for a visa now. They can just turn up, get the stamp at the airport when they come in. And of course, it will attract a lot more Chinese. I mean, I've never seen them spending money, but I guess they do spend money if that's what the government say. When I say I've never seen them spend money, what I mean to say is they don't go into bars and, they don't generally, you see them go out from Pattaya on the boats out to Koh Larn and stuff like that. They walk down Walker Street, somebody with a flag at the front there. But generally, you don't see them kind of spending kind of around the bars and the gift shops and things like that, do you? Right. Rain in Blood 123. Where can I meet K-pop beauty lookalikes? Well, you'll have to be a handsome man to start with, but they're all over Bangkok for a start. But you know, they're not going to hook up with you if you're kind of 60 and got a pot belly on you. Robster. So the elite visa was 22k British pounds. Now it's 100k British pounds. Do you know what? I'm going to put my hands up in the air and say I don't know, because I'm the sort of guy who I haven't made a video about elite visas, because there's so many people out there who have already done it. I can't afford an elite visa, so I'll never look into it. It's just not something I can answer, unfortunately. Oh, by the way, this member stream that I'm going to do tonight, when I go out there and take a walk down Sukhumvit, obviously, if it rains, I can't do it. It hasn't rained today at the moment. It said it wouldn't rain after 9. So what I'll do is when I finish tonight on here, I'll go and have a look over the balcony. If it's looking good, I'll probably need 20 minutes to half an hour to set up, and then I'll have a walk down Sukhumvit and probably try and hang out in Soi 4 and just show you what's going on. It's a Sunday night, but there's still people about. Best dressed man. Afternoon, Sire. Nice to be able to catch you live once again. Well, no, what is it now? Good evening, best dressed man. It's 25 to 10 here in Bangkok. Jerry Massey. I enjoyed Khon last year. Hang on, where have we gone? I've lost it. Right, Jerry. I enjoyed Khon. Let me put it up there for you. I enjoyed Khon last year. A pretty relaxed bar and people are nice. Night market across from the university is a must visit. Well, if you go to Khon, right in the middle of the Khon, there's a huge hotel. I think it's been rebranded. It's called the Pullman now. That used to be the Sofitel. And I went up there in 1994 as part of the opening management team. That's my background, hotels. And we opened it in 1996. Fantastic, really luxurious hotel. I've heard that it's in need of some renovation. You know, the rooms I don't think they've been upgraded since then, but apparently it's still a great hotel, and I enjoyed my time in Khon, but I was working very, very hard, so I didn't have a lot of time off work. I remember my wife and we used to go to a small restaurant. Well, I had one day off a week, and I remember in the day I kind of caught up with sleep because I was so tired. Long hours when you're in the hotel industry. You can be in a morning meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning and still be on duty at 2 o'clock in the morning, like looking after I used to run the underground. They used to call it the underground. It's the entertainment center in the basement of the Sofitel. I don't know if it's still there. But long hours. But my wife and we used to just go out to a small restaurant on our night off, and I'd drink a few beers, and we had some hoi lai, the shells, chili fried shells, and she'd have a soft drink, and we'd just relax, and it was very, very nice, but I didn't really get much of a chance to see Khon other than a few malls, and we went out to a dam that's a few miles away from Khon, and it was a nice enough place. I'm sure it's a much bigger place now. It was quite big back then, but it's probably bigger now. Solar Life Portugal. Peter, how is your Thai coming along? I tried learning a few times, and I think Portuguese is even harder to learn. Right, I won't bullshit you. With my Thai, I can say a lot of words, but I find it very difficult to string a conversation together. Okay, if I go into a restaurant, I can order most of my food. I can tell them what I don't want, what I do want. If I get in a taxi, I can tell them to go left, go right, go straight, stop. How much is it? I know a lot. But to sit with a Thai person and hold a conversation, no, I've not really picked it up, and I've never actually been formally taught. But what surprised me since I've come back this time, I've actually learned. I've not tried to learn, but I've learned a lot more now. I know a lot more, and like I'll be talking, and I bought some Adidas trainers the other night. They had in Terminal 21, they sometimes have pop-up shops, and they had an Adidas. Well, they had a few trainer shops, and they had a couple of classic-looking Adidas from the 80s, like copy from the 80s. And I like them sort of trainers, the Sambas with the stripes and stuff. And I've seen a couple. One was black in kind of like what color would you call it? With gold stripes, and the other one was kind of cream with green stripes. I know it sounds horrible. They're really nice. And I can't remember the point of telling this story, but I bought a couple of Adidas from there anyway. We're talking about Thai, weren't we? Right, neighborhood. Rain in Blood 123. Understandably, not many people want to use real names watching this channel. Okay, well, it's not that bad. Jerry. Okay, you're talking to someone else, I think. Okay. Solar Life Portugal. But if you are retiring somewhere, it's only proper to learn the language. Yeah, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight, is it? It's great in theory, but especially at my age. I mean, I should be able to speak fluent Thai now because I've lived here a lot of years, but What's held me back is because I worked in 5-star hotels while I was in Thailand, okay? And everybody that was employed spoke great English, okay? So we all communicated in English, all the staff, heads of departments, other foreign managers. You know, it's a French company. We had French, my boss was a Frenchman. You know, so you tend to be a bit lazy in that environment. Now, on the other hand, if you're living in some hick town up in Isan and nobody speaks a word of English and you're trying to communicate, you're going to learn very, very quickly, aren't you? I'm just looking up here because there's a mosquito thing flying around and I want to catch it. Otherwise, what will happen? I'll wake up with a red lump on my arm or even worse on my bum because it's been sticking out of the bed. Come on, fly over here. There we are. No, I missed him. I'll get him on a second time round, little bugger. Right. Boohoo. Evening. How you doing? Dutch Farang. Thank you, Brian Flowers. Bangkok Jimmy. Howdy. Your Bangkok Jimmy, your messages, your comments. Peter. Come on, give us some real comments. Mara, 1, 2, 3, 4. You are going to fall through the floor. Okay. Dave Bill, are you still at the old background where it was like, okay, I've gone back up for some reason. Yeah, I am. Let me come down some of the later ones. Rob Loud, hey Peter, I wish you a nice day. My day's over. Hi Brian, I just gave you a mention earlier. I don't know if you heard that. I just said it was nice to see you streaming again. I hope everything's working out with your wife. I won't talk about it here in a public forum. I'll try and give you a call in the next week, I think. Oh, you said there she should be out in 10 days. Terrible. I understand why, but I did mention you earlier and mention about the memberships. I think Capio's joined again. Yeah, Capio's joined. That's good, Capio. You can join us when we go for a walk. I'm going to have a walk along Sukhumvit tonight in the member stream. Where are we? Robin, how are you doing? Robin, the chosen one. Okay. Has somebody bought? Has Brian bought memberships again? How many have you bought this week, Brian? Very generous of you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Brian. Tell me how to buy memberships, and I'm going to come into your stream and buy a bunch of them because it's only fair, isn't it? I'm trying to get this mosquito. It's irritating me now. Right. Okay. All right. Richard Harris thanking Brian as well. Okay. Paul Hoskins escaped again. Putmaster 1, Robster, yes, 500% increase. I can't see many people applying for the new elite visa. They've made a lot of money out of it. The elite visa is very good for the Thai government and it's very good for people who can have it, but you've got to be able to afford it, haven't you? I'm poor, I can't afford it. Paul Harrison, right, okay, here's a good question. Do you have any tattoos, Peter? When I get to Bangkok, I'm going to come California Ink in Soi 4 for a bamboo sakyat tattoo. Well, it's funny you should ask me about tattoos because when I was very young, it was the 70s, remember, towards the late 70s, early 80s, I got a lot of tattoos, okay, when I was about 16, you know, and I had them all removed when I was in Bangkok. Because what happened when I was in England, all my friends, when I was when I was sort of 16, 17, they all had tattoos. So you start off and you get one here and you get one here and you get one here. And I had them all over my arms. I was covered in tattoos. And then I came out here to Asia and people look down on you. It's not like today, like girls have got tattoos here. You see a guy, I went for a dinner with a guy the other day, nice guy actually, but he's absolutely covered in tattoos. Well, he would have scared the pants off the Thais 30 years ago. So when I came out here, I just decided to have them all removed. And I went down to Ceylon and I had laser treatment. And the problem is where they're gone just about. But they don't tan. So when I tan, I've got white spots. I don't know if you can see, I had a big tattoo there. There's nothing much of that there. I had a couple of tattoos there. You can just about make out. Can you see there? I had a girl's name there. I think you can see this one. Yeah, there's one there. That was a rose. That one I should have gone back again, but it's very faint. And then I had another one. I had another one here. You can see it, can't you? But it's gone now. But you can see where it was. And then I had one there. Still a bit of ink there on that one. Yeah, so yeah, I had a lot. And it's interesting how they do it because when you go for a laser, what happens? You get the most painful part is the injections because they put injections, about 10 injections underneath. They get the needle, they bend it like that and they put it underneath the tattoo. And then what happens? They run the laser over the tattoo and then you go away and your skin scabs up. You know, when you get scabs, right? And then eventually you go back every month because that's how long it takes your skin to repair. So what happens? You go there, you get lasered, and then your skin, your tattoo scabs up, like when you fall over, you get a scab. And then after a month, those scabs have fallen off and your skin's repaired because what's happened, the ink comes up. And then you go back the next time and you do it again. And this is a process. And every time you go back, no, I still didn't get him. Yes, I did. I got him. There he is. Look. Good. Murderer. And every time you go back, the ink lifts up. Every time you get laser, until the point there's, you've gone so far up, there's no ink left. So yeah, I had all mine removed. Yeah, absolutely, Robin. Smash a like. God, this Indian meal's really made me thirsty tonight. Okay. But of course now, tattoos. I've never liked tattoos on a girl. My daughters are coming out here next month, and I'm just wondering, my youngest daughter, she's 23, she had a Buddha tattooed on her. I don't like tattoos on girls. I told my daughters not to do them, but I don't know. They're adults, right? They're not covered in tattoos. My one daughter's got one tattoo there, something. It's quite a nice tattoo actually, but she's got one on the top of her thigh, and it's a Buddha's head, right? And when I seen it, I thought, oh Jesus Christ, you come into Thailand, and I've been asking some of the Thais, if my daughter goes swimming and they see that, will they get offended? And they're like, well, they won't do anything, but they won't like it, and yeah, what can you do? No strings, how you doing? N202, hot and humid day in Bangkok for sure. Very, very hot today, very hot. And I'm hoping when I go out, there's talking to Thai, hoping it's a little bit long, wind. Right. Jerry Massey, how you doing? Ben, nice to see you in the stream. Yes, Bangkok Pat is now doing stories very well. I didn't mention his name. I wasn't actually thinking of him, but I did notice he's getting into stories as well now. Okay, a lot of people saying thank you to Brian for he's obviously bought a load of memberships tonight, like he did last week. I don't know how many. I'd like to know. Brian Harrison, hi Brian. Don't forget, if you do get a free membership and you do enjoy, like, you don't get loads for a member. You get into the member stream, and I talk about stuff that I don't talk about here. You'll get access to the videos earlier than everybody else. And like tonight, I'm going to go out and do a walkabout live stream, which is for members only tonight. Don't forget, it only lasts for a month. If you don't renew it, then obviously it'll run out. Jerry, are you talking to somebody else? Okay, just some advice on Khon there, yeah. I think if I didn't live in Bangkok, I mean, if I choose to live out of Bangkok, I don't think I could live anywhere without a beach, because I like walking, and I like walking along the beach. Okay, Brian, I'm not live until I've resolved my issues. Got another big problem at the same time. Okay, I'll try and remember to give you a call in the week, Brian. I know when you're busy. I know when I'm busy. Drop me a message when you're free. I've got to take my car in for a service on Tuesday. I might be doing a video on Marley on Wednesday. But any day, mate. Any day I'm here. I'm not far from you. Sometimes I come to Bangkok, but I'm Patty. But I went last year. But I went to Pattaya last week, but I stayed for one night because I was getting a little bit bored of doing streams here. Or I'll turn that around. I was thinking you guys might be getting a little bit bored, and I thought I'll try something else. So I drove down to Pattaya, stayed in the hotel one night. I enjoyed the beach and everything, but I went out and did a stream. But I was a bit disappointed because I noticed the camera was a bit shaky. So I'm going to be using this one tonight, which is, like I say, I've got the gimbal, which is stable. It's just heavy though, but this has got some stabilization. So we'll see how we get on with this tonight. And yeah, should be fun. Hopefully nobody will punch me in the face tonight. Kicks TV, are we live? We certainly are live. They want the Chinese for investment. Well, they invest everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Robster, surely they want more British, given our currency is the strongest and likely to spend more in their country. I think it's all relevant to the number of people. Obviously China's one of the biggest countries on the planet, isn't it? I think we're about 80 million in the UK. And China and Thailand have always had a very close relationship. It's like the British and the Americans, that kind of friendship. It's the same with the Thais and the Chinese. So there might be some little bit of favoritism, you could say. Somebody else thanking Brian for his membership. Thank you. Right, let me put these up here in case you came in late. Pound's doing very, very well at the moment. 44 baht and 95 satang. US dollar 36. Very good. The only one that's dropped is the Australian dollar. It's dropped by about 3 baht from last week. I don't know why. Dumbass abroad. Robs, the Chinese tourists spend more per head than British. Okay. I don't know what they spend it on though. Right. Jerry says it's a Pullman. I've said that. Yeah, they've rebranded it. Somebody told me there's a picture of me when you go downstairs where the brewery is. There's some of the old management team, the original management team, and somebody told me there's a picture of me on that board. I've never seen it. I must have been about 96, or they probably would have took it in 95. So I would have been, what's that, 60, 70, 80? I would have been 35 when I was up in Khon. Right, Aussie Rose. Peter, actually, there are many independent Chinese tourists going into the bars, KTV, and nightclubs, just not going in as a big tourist group. Okay, fair enough. I've been told they must be spending somewhere, or they wouldn't. The government wouldn't be so keen to have them come in. Right, let's get rid of that. Jerry says, Kicks TV, thanks for the info. Yes, the service wasn't great. I was disappointed. I will give the Avanti a chance the next time I am there. Okay, good. Yeah, I won't read that out. I'll put that up there, but I agree. It's very, very sad what's going on now. It's London's absolutely lawless. Someone else has wrote that, Rob. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got out when I did. I just worry about my daughters, obviously my ex-wife, she's still a friend. Bangkok Jimmy says Bangkok is safer than London. It is. I think it is. Let's not get into politics. So, Declan O'Mara. Hi, mate. Hope you're good. Are you meeting up with Jeff Carter? He's like you, a star. Well, I'm not a star. I'm very humble. No, I've never met Jeff Carter. I don't have any opinion on his videos. I did watch one tonight, funny enough. I know he's back in town, but he's in Pattaya at the moment. Obviously, I'm in Bangkok. A lot of the YouTubers in Thailand are based in Pattaya. A lot of them, I'd say probably 80% of them, the ones who've got the numbers, as it were. I like Bangkok. I just like it. I don't know what it is, and I can use it as a base, to go down to Pattaya and places like that. Yeah, Kev says you're older. It's much more difficult to learn a language. Absolutely. Javier, South Korean citizens, especially the younger generation, spend lots of money on go-go bars, also buying fancy and expensive designer clothing. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about I don't really go to go-go bars much at the moment. I went out 3 weeks ago with Simon and I made that video about how they tried to cheat us. We didn't get cheated, but what I don't like, I used to be a smoker. I'm not a reframe smoker where I start lecturing people about it, but I didn't realize I started smoking when I was 15 and I didn't give up till I was 50. Okay. I used to smoke 2 packets of Marlboro Lights a day and I didn't know there was a smell there because I've never been a non-smoker. And then I suddenly gave up totally. I went on to the vapes and then I felt myself like quite heavy breathing. I thought the oil in the vapes must be, and I just got rid of the whole lot and I haven't smoked for years and I'm glad I gave up. But, you go into some of these bars, I won't name them, but, they'll let the second floor, you go up to the second floor and it's the girls are dancing and they let them smoke. And I don't know what it is about the Japanese and the Koreans. They all seem to smoke. If you go into a bar in Europe or something, hardly anybody smokes these days. It's like not because they're not allowed to. It's just, well, you're not allowed to smoke in a bar, but most people are non-smokers now. But for some reason, the Koreans and the Japanese all seem to smoke. And I hate it. You go into these bars, and you come out and your clothes is absolutely reeking. Again, I'm not like preaching to smokers. It's just I don't like being in a room with a lot of people smoking. Matthew May, how are you doing, Matthew? We haven't seen you in the stream for a long time. Brian, how are you getting on? Are you going to do an update on your situation? Really hope the wife is out. I'd like to do a live stream with Brian. I have asked him a couple of times, but he says he doesn't plan the live streams, okay? He doesn't say, like, okay, next Tuesday at 10 I'm live stream. He just thinks, oh, I've got some time, I'll do a live stream. But I'd love to sit down and do a live stream with Brian and just talk about things in general, Bangkok, Pattaya, that sort of thing. I met Brian here in Bangkok. He has a Wednesday kind of business club here. I don't know if he's still doing it. He's probably not at the moment because of his wife issues. But I went along to that, and there was a couple of guys who I forget who they were now. I was going to keep in touch, and as always, we parted the ways. But there are a couple of guys who started a radio station down there, and I said to Brian, "Well, this is, I don't have a business, but I'll come along if you don't mind." And he was like, "Yeah, come along every Wednesday," and I just stopped going. It wasn't because I was bored or anything like that, but you've got your own life, and things take over, don't they? But I'd really like to do a stream with Brian. Capio, you're a new member again. Good to have you in. Right, Rob, so I'm happy to be very far north of London, outside the border. Yeah, I lived in a small town called Kettering for years. It's in Northamptonshire, but they've got a hotel full of these immigrants there now who've come across on rubber dinghies. They're everywhere, aren't they? Right, Peter, would you consider going to surrounding countries and doing live streams? Well, I said I would do it. Yeah, definitely. But I've only been here a year now, and I haven't done everything I want to do here. But the way I want to do it, it's not that I want to go with somebody. I want to go there and meet somebody who's already there, right? So there's a guy who I met called Alfreda Jim. I don't know if he's still in the stream. Okay, he's a viewer. He was in Bangkok. He says, hey, I'm in Bangkok. Let's meet up. And I just happened to be free. Okay. So I went and I met Jim. He's a nice guy from a town called Alpharetta in America. We went and had a meal. We hung out. And, you know, sometimes you click with people, sometimes you don't. Like the guy I met in Pattaya who started telling me how I should run my channel, or the guy who said, come for lunch and ended up giving me $100 towards my lunch. You know, so there are some jokers out there, but most guys I meet are okay. And, you know, I met Jim, and Jim's works for a company. I won't tell you what the company is, but he comes here. He likes to hang out in Thailand, but his company, what he works for, he's quite high up with his company, but he lives in the Philippines. So he knows the area, he knows where the nightlife is, and he knows what to do. So if I was to go out to say I have been to the Philippines, but it was years ago, and I don't know the areas and nothing about the Philippines now, right? But if I go to the Philippines, I don't want to just land, come out the airport and think, oh, where do I go? Because it's going to be a week wasted. So when I find people like Jim who've said, look, you know, you can come out here and I'll show you the ropes and stuff, I'll book a cheap flight from Dong Muang probably over to Manila. I'll get a hotel that Jim recommends, and I'll go out. And if he can't hang out with me all the time, that's fine. I wouldn't expect him to hold my hand, but he can point me in the right direction. Okay. And that's what I'd like to do. And then make film, you know, that's show my age now, film, make videos, right? And the same thing, you know, if somebody's in Vietnam and they, you know, they invite me, not pay for me, or let me stay in the house, but they just say, look, I'm here. If you want to come over here, come over and I'll show you around. Or wherever you are, Cambodia. I've been to Cambodia. I know Cambodia a little bit. And yeah, that's the way I'd like to do it, Deke. So I just don't want to hop on a plane for the sake of it and say, hey, I'm in, you know, wherever, Vietnam, let's explore. Because I might go to the worst places in Vietnam because I don't know. Kev, okay. Okay, I'll put that up. Damon, right. You're in. We had Franco in a little bit earlier, but I think he's chipped off and gone to sleep now in his lorry. Nice to see you in, Damon. Evening, Mr. Peter. Sorry, late for the stream. Just got back from the blast on the bike, making the most of the weather. Best regards, Damon. Well, I hope you're going to stay in. I hope you're going to stay in, Damon, because you've obviously come in late. What I'm going to do in the member stream today, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a walkabout. Okay. I'm going to finish this stream. It'll probably take me 20 minutes to set everything up. I'm going to walk around to Soy 8. I'm going to start there and I'm going to walk up to Sukhumvit, hang around Nana Soy 4 area a little bit. I've worked out how to have my camera facing forward, but people don't know it's recording them because it's kind of, I see the screen, but it's looking that way. So that should be quite good. So I hope you're around for that, Damon. Right. I met Damon while he was out here a couple of weeks ago, so you'll be back out. Brian Flowers, thank you very much, Brian. It's very generous of you. I bought 20. Right. So, do you know what? I'm subscribed to your channel and I've got the notification buttons on, but every time I come here in the morning, it's like Brian Flowers is live. And I think, oh, I've caught him. And I go and it's like 6 hours ago or 8 hours ago. You know, I don't know why I miss them. I'm going to, you know, maybe if you know you're going to do one, send me a text and I'll come in. Right, Nicholas Hall, have you been on any sea fishing trips from Pattaya, Peter? Going to Pattaya for the first time in a couple of weeks. I did, not this time, but years ago I did, and I can't even remember if it was from Pattaya or Hua Hin, but it was great. We went out on quite a big boat with some ties, and they supply the rods. We hired quite a big boat with a flat deck inside, and it was brilliant. You catch fish, and they actually fried them on the deck within a minute of it. You pulling it out of the water, you know, very, very good. Brian says, I'm not doing enough videos anyway. Well, it's understandable, Brian. I mean, I would say videos is on the back of your mind at the moment. I'd have a lot more on my mind, understandably. Mark Hanley. Hey up, Pete. Hi, Brian. Yeah, hi, Mark. Charles Sanders. Hello, Damon and Franco. Don't know if Freeman's still here, but Franco's still here, but Damon's still here. And if he's just joined this evening already, wow, nearly an hour already. Wow. Okay. Capio, hey, kicks on Damon. He's got a nice bike, Damon, as he sent me a video the other day. He went out, really nice bike. Export Lifestyle, Ducati, I think it is, limited edition. Expat Lifestyle, I just started my own travel YouTube channel. Do you have any advice for a new YouTuber? I'm not really an expert, you know, I mean, I'm not the biggest YouTuber out there, but I'd say, what's the best advice I could give you from I would say be consistent. You know, like I had a friend who, we were going to do something together and he'd miss deadlines. He wouldn't do videos. He'd be like, it's only YouTube and a video. Your viewers will live. And I was like, well, no, you don't do that. If you watch my channel, you notice every single Tuesday or Wednesday, the members get the stories. Every single Saturday, without fail, stories come out. And I try to do one video in the week if I can. And I always do the live streams at the same time every week, even if I don't feel like doing them. So the advice I could give to you if you're doing a travel channel is make sure people know when your videos are going to come out, and don't miss them. Whatever it is, think of it like I don't mean think of it something you have to do, because then it becomes a job, doesn't it? And yeah, just be consistent and try to be different. You know, don't. If you copy anybody, your personality won't come out. I seem to have a lot of people copying me at the moment, and you know, people are telling me about it. Right, okay, let's move on. And just a last thing on that subject, there are a lot of videos on YouTube. If you type in, you know, should I make a YouTube channel, something, loads of them come up, absolutely loads. Right, Matthew, how are you doing? I seen you in somebody's stream the other day, Matthew. Who was it? Afternoon Peter, Afternoon Mongo. I think it was Nick Dean's. I caught a little bit of Nick Dean's stream on Sunday. I actually met Nick when I was down in Pattaya 2 weeks ago. I was sitting with Damien in a bar on Soy 7 opposite Blackwoods. He came, I've met him before, but it was about 2 years ago, and he didn't remember me. He walked up, and Damon was there, and Nick was outside on the road, and Damon said, "Oh, Peter's in." He was like, "Oh, yeah, all right." Then he said, "You know, Peter, Thailand band." He's like, "Oh, yeah," and he came in, shook my hand and everything. But I've never managed to get to his bar while he's doing a live stream, because I leave on the Sunday, and he does his live stream in the afternoon. But they get a good audience in there, don't they? 600 people, something like that. You know, but they got the girls there and everything. I had to laugh when I did the stream last Sunday. I went along to Phil's bar, La Pub, and Phil wasn't there, but all his girls were outside. And I was surprised how you know, normally the girls don't want to go on camera and they're really shy, but because he does this pool thing, you know, they were quite happy to come on camera. And at one point, I had the camera on the table. I was having a beer and I was talking to his girls, and you know, some of the viewers were saying, "Oh yeah, I like her," and I was like, "Oh, this guy thinks you're very pretty," and we had a little bit of a thing going with a video, you know, with a live stream. And I was thinking, blimey, if Phil comes along now, he'll be charging me rent or something. But he was good enough, Phil. He's a nice guy. He turned up, we had a beer, and yeah, it was quite a good ending to the stream last Wednesday. Okay, to the Paradise City on a night drive. If you want tattoos, you might as well go all Yakuza. I don't think people think of it too much these days. It's not like I say, when I had mine, people used to look at me like, "Ooh, look, this guy's got tattoos." Glad I got rid of them, actually. Robin. Hey, Brian, thanks again. Tell us all about your bars. We should head to, and we'll support you all the way. Yeah. Somebody's just given me a super chat there. Kevin Sutherland. Thank you, Kevin. $20 super sticker. I'll put it up when I get to it, but I've just seen it, so thank you. I don't know, I've got an itchy hooter again tonight. I hope I'll tell you what, when I go out there in half an hour's time, I hope it's not hot. Well, it'll be hot and humid, but I hope it's not going to be like really hot. And that $20, Kevin, I might be able to get a few drinks with. It's always hard to find somewhere to sit down and have a drink because copyrighted music. And do you remember I said when I was walking around Pattaya last week, I said, well, I know they're not going to monetize this video because of all the music stuff. But I actually had a copyright claim on one of the songs. It was like they send you a notification to say, "Oh, there's a copyright. This song is copyrighted to this person. We're not gonna. They're gonna demonetize the video, and then they give you any earnings from the video. They send to the copyright owner, right? So if you've got it in your video, if they don't give you a strike, what they do is they send the money to the person who owns the song. So they give you an option to either go in and edit it in YouTube, take that song out, which I did, and then they still didn't monetize it, but I get a little bit of a share of the monetize. I mean, you know, when the adverts come up, you get pennies for it, but they add up the more adverts you have. So they demonetized it, but they still give you a tiny share of like memberships when people join YouTube as membership. I knew that was going to happen, but it wasn't. Last week, I just wanted to do something different. And I thought, you know, they're going to demonetize a video because I'm going to be out around the bars. And I thought, I don't care as long as I don't get a strike or something. Right. Let me just turn the aircon down a little bit if I can reach it from here. Yeah, Kev says tattoos are frowned on in Japan. They used to be everywhere, but now they're kind of pretty much accepted, aren't they? Oh, you're asking, Matthew Orkin says, how much did it cost you to remove your tattoos? Well, I had them removed 25 years ago. Back then, I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I remember it was expensive, but it wasn't so expensive that I thought, wow, that's really expensive. It was just like, shall I do it? Shall I do it? It's a lot of money, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't out of reach money. It was all right. And I'll tell you something interesting. If you're one of those guys who've had a black and white tattoo, in other words, when you're a kid, you got a pin and some Indian ink and you put love and hate on your knuckles. It's just one color. They can do that in one sitting. You go along, they laser it and it's gone, basically. It's the colors that takes time to come out. Jerry again. Speaking of mosquitoes, any tips on keeping them off you in Thailand and the rest of Southeast Asia? I'm a magnet for them. Any tips on how to keep them off as well? Lots of options, Jerry. Different things seem to work for different people. I go through stages where I get bitten, and then I'll go for months and I don't get a mosquito bite. At the moment, I'm getting one or two. When they get in is the worst. I've got the aircon on, but if one, like there was one here flying around, I killed it, right? But if I hadn't caught it, what happens? I'm in bed, I sleep. I sleep in the buff, as it were. I don't wear anything in bed, and I've got the aircon on. Sometimes you get a little bit warm under the covers, so you'll turn over and your bum will be hanging out the edge of the bed. I know it's a horrible thought, horrible sight, but your bum's exposed. And what will happen? This damn mosquito, out of everywhere he can bite you, he'll do it on the backside, and you start scratching in the night, and it's awful. But in answer to your question, yeah, I mean, okay, you can get. I don't like the sprays that you get in the pharmacies here because they're very oily, and when you spray your legs and your arms, I suppose they work, but you're left with a kind of an oily coat on yourself, and you get it on your hands, it's like ugh. So I don't like them. I'll tell you what I use. If you're only coming out for a vacation, this has always worked for me. Like regular deodorant, Sure, or something like that, you put on your arm, right? Just if you're going out and you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt at night, because this works for me, right? Just spray with a deodorant the backs of your hand, up to the, pull your t-shirt up a little bit up to there, and then do your legs down, put your socks down a little bit, and then do the backs and front of your leg. Use a bit of deodorant, but that seems to work because they go on smell, the flesh or whatever they smell. And, the deodorant's covering the flesh. It kind of puts them off, and I've done that for years and never suffered. At the moment, I don't do it because I don't want to lose what little deodorant I got because it's expensive here. But yeah, that's a good option. And the other thing is if there's any water sitting around, you'll find a lot of them there. I remember in Hua Hin when I did a live stream outside, the owner of it was called Soy 94. There was a kind of Western style restaurant owned by a nice girl called Pat, a Thai girl, obviously. And I was talking about the live stream. I thought, I don't know where to do it, copyrighted music. And she said, well, I'll leave the garden. You can do it in our garden. They close at midnight. And I was like, yeah, but you're going to turn the lights off. It's not going to be any good. She said, no, I'll leave the lights on for you. And I was like, really? Thanks. So she went off, closed the bar, the restaurant, left these nice lights on in the little garden she's got with little plants and everything. I sat there on the table. I thought, this is ideal, right? But what I didn't know, she's got pots of water, these ceramic pots that they've got lilies floating in them and stuff like that. And she had a load of there. Honestly, I went back to the hotel on 94, staying in the initial hotel back then. I'm not exaggerating. I was like a pinboard. I'd been bitten at least 20 to 30 times, and it was awful. I couldn't sleep. I was scratching all night. But nice of her to let me stay in the garden, but I wouldn't do it again. Right, Richard Harris, try all day tattoo for Sakyat. Very good there. Okay. Right, Chris Card. I've never been into tattoos. Chris, I only got them when I was younger because all my mates got them. It's one of those things, isn't it? Right, Brian says thanks for supporting Soy 6. It's enough for me. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Timothy Brown, Peter's fixing on show. Love it. Flexing on show. Okay, you're the old. Oh, there's nothing there now. I'm an old fogey, aren't I? Yeah. Okay. Killing on a live stream. Paul Hoskins. They try and sell you those tattoo armbands at the bar. Younger people are into them, aren't they? They wear it for a night, and then a lot of people are saying they hate tattoos on girls. I really don't like tattoos on girls. I instantly judge them. I think, oh, she must be working in a beer bar, or she must be in a go-go bar, which I shouldn't. I know, but I do. Because in the old days, they're the only girls who got tattoos. If a girl had a tattoo, she worked in a bar or she worked in a go-go bar. You didn't get normal straight girls that have got tattoos, but nowadays they do. Right, Bangkok Jimmy says, Brian, any bar managers needed? I think Brian's always looking for bar managers. Best thing is contact him direct. Yeah, that's my daughter. You're saying Buddha head tattoo on the thigh. Holy hell. Yeah, that's exactly what my reaction was, but I didn't. It was a bit more expression than holy hell. Dave Bill, Peter, did you see that horrible story of the Isan YouTuber? His wife in her 20s died of dengue fever. Never knew it was fatal. I didn't, Dave. That's very sad, isn't it? I don't know. Is it treatable? If they catch it, could they have treated it? You don't hear much about dengue fever these days. I must have been bitten several thousand times in all the years I've been here. But as far as I know, I didn't get anything from a mosquito bite other than an annoying itch and a red lump on my arm. Yeah, very sad. But what it is, she might have had some underlying health problems. You know, when COVID was here, there was quite a lot of people that died, but they found out that the majority of the people who died from COVID had some underlying health issues. So their immune system wasn't great anyway. So when they got COVID, that's kind of finished them off. And it could be a case with this girl. I don't know. I've not seen the video. I don't know anything about it. I'm just purely guessing. Dumb shit abroad. Night Wish Bar. Okay, right. Baron Badger. My ex-wife Stephen tattooed on her back, but my name is Gareth. Okay. Kicks TV says he loves tattoos on ladies. I don't. Barry Bluebird. Are we talking about? You know what? I don't watch his channel. I'll put it up there. I don't watch his channel. Not because I've got anything against the guy, but he's basically, it's a drama. It's like a full-time drama. And I came out of England out of a drama, and I want to relax. I want to enjoy myself here. I want to relax. I don't want to get into dramas, and it just seems to be a drama. You know, I don't want to watch it. Rub Loud, yeah, 20 memberships. Paul Harrison, just seen another Mozzie fly around you, Peter. You winding me up? I'll get him. If he flies in front, I'll get him. I don't know how they get in. I think what it is when the air conditioner's off, there's little gaps, isn't there, everywhere, anywhere you live. Right. If I see a woman with tattoos, I immediately think of Yakuza Mama-san. Yeah. Right, just in case you're late into the stream, I want to just say again, sorry, I'm repeating myself for people who have already been here, but you know, I finish this stream normally about 10:30 Thai time. It's now 10:10. I'm probably going to finish 5 minutes early tonight because when I start the member stream, I'm going to go out. I'm actually going to go out and do a walkabout. I don't know what it's going to be like. It's a Sunday night. It was very, very hot today, but I've worked out a way of using the camera, the phone. Like normally you have to turn it around to show people, so you won't see me. Basically, you'll hear me talking. I can read your comments, but the camera will be facing forward. So I want to do a bit of an experiment, and I want to walk down to Soy around Nana and see if I can get away with it, or people, hey, don't point the camera. I don't point. I don't like literally go up to people and point the camera, but if people are in front of you, and a lot of guys who watch the streams, that's what they want to see, isn't it? They know Nana and they know Sukhumvit, and they're not here now, and they want to see what's going on. So if you're a member, and there's a lot of members now, probably about 270 now, when I start the member stream tonight, as long as it's not raining, if it's raining when I have the break, then I'll be coming back in just like I am now. So if you've got nothing to do later on, join us in the member stream, and I'll be on Walkabout. So we'll see how that goes. Robin says, hey, Peter, you're a great storyteller. Would you ever consider doing a video podcast? I feel like you get some great guests. I'll tell you what the problem is, Robin. I tried to introduce podcasts on YouTube, like the stories. They say they're podcasts, but I'm not really a technical guy because I'm 63, right? And there was a young American guy who helped me out, a guy called Eric, right? My green screen wasn't, you see now I've got no green haze. I used to have a green haze here, right? So I've got this picture behind me. I mean, that's only literally 2 minutes down the road, right? But I've got a picture of it here. Terminal 21. I was in there today. It's literally like, a 10-minute walk this way. And this Eric guy, I did a video with him. He's 32, quite technical. And he said, look, I can improve your sound. I'll improve your green screen. I was like, well, why would you want to do that for me? What do you want? And he was like, no, I don't want nothing. I just like to help people. I'm like, fair enough. So he came round and he advised me to get this Rode shotgun microphone that's on a boom here. You can't see it. It's kind of, let's see if I can bring it down a bit. There it is there, right? And the sound has greatly improved. I used to wear that call center headset, right? And you can see now the green screen. There's no green haze because he showed me how to set up the lighting. And another guy showed me how to change the lighting so my glasses don't glare. They do slightly, but they used to be terrible. You could see the screens in the in the lenses, but I've pretty much got it now. So the thing is, Robin, if somebody came along to me and said, look, Peter, I know how to do podcasts. I'll teach you how to do it. 100%, I would do it. I wouldn't let the chance go. But for me to go off and learn it, it's very, very difficult at my age to get all the, to learn it. So if there's anybody out there who can teach me how to do podcasts properly, then you know where I am. I'll buy you an Indian meal over at the Al Hussein. How's that? It's cheap and cheerful over there, but good food. I don't see enough of a Richard. You said you should get Marley to teach you Thai. Yeah, an hour or two with us kind of long enough. Richard Harris. Okay, I've just read that one, haven't I? Right, Javier. Actually, the live stream from last Sunday was very entertaining and quite interesting as well. I enjoyed doing it. It was very hot, and I lost a lot of water. But the thing, I was disappointed myself. I didn't get any complaints, but I was disappointed because when I got back, I had a nice cool shower. It was brilliant, really brilliant. I cracked open a San Miguel light. I sat on the bed, towel, aircon. It was like I died and gone to heaven after walking around for 2 hours. And I watched some of the live stream, and you know what? It was very jittery. I was walking along and it was just, I wasn't happy with it. So like I said, I've got this week, which kind of stabilizes that way. So when you move around, it kind of, you haven't got that jit, but not so much that way. And like I keep saying, I have got a gimbal, but I just find it very heavy. I don't use it. It costs me a lot of money as well. So we'll give it another go tonight and we'll see how it is. But I actually enjoyed the walkabout. There's something about Pattaya because everybody else down there seems to do their live streams in the day. I know Trevor does his in the morning. Nick does his early afternoon. So I try to do mine a bit later just so I'm not kind of on somebody else, stepping on other people's feet. Yusuf, hello Peter. I had a great dinner at Al Hussein. Love it. Thanks for the video. Do you know what? I've taken them so much business, Yusuf. I've met so many people who said, "Oh, I went to that Al Hussein. It's great, cheap. I didn't know it was there." I used to eat a curry on Sukhumvit Road at 1,000 baht. Yeah, very good. I read a comment earlier from somebody who was in Saudi Arabia, and I didn't read it out because I've missed it, but I remember reading it before the stream started. So if you're still in here and I haven't read it, apologies, but welcome into the stream from Saudi Arabia. Paul Hoskins, Chinese are lucky being a few hours from Thailand. Okay. That's a bit grim, Nick. The UK is finished. It seems to be getting that way, doesn't it? Right, Darcy, Jeff is a legend, one of the originals. I might catch up with him while he's here. I'm not a snob. Anybody who contacts me, another YouTuber, and wants to do something, I'll do it with them. But generally, they kind of leave me alone. Oh, really? I saw a picture of you on a dartboard in Soy 8. Okay, of me personally. All right. Yeah. Okay. Right. There's some good ones. Dutch Frank, Peter, which hotel do you recommend on Soy 4? I take it you're talking about Bangkok, right? If you're looking for a good, clean budget hotel, there's several. You've got the Nana City Hotel. That's not bad. That's about halfway down. It's on the left as you come into Soy 4. Nana City Hotel. It's a grey building. That's pretty good. The Majestic Hotel's quite good. I've stayed there a couple of times. That's the one that when you come out of Soy 4 where the police box is, you turn right, there's a tailor's there. Well, that's a Majestic Hotel's there. They haven't got many facilities, but it's a great location. And if you want to be picked up by a taxi, you just tell them Nana Car Park. That's a good hotel. So you've got the Majestic. You've got the Nana City. You've got the what else? God, there's so many down there. You've got one right at the very end that I've stayed at for a lot of times called the Nana Thai Suites. They're very big rooms, quite reasonable. Yeah, they're all pretty good. I stayed at the Boss Suites just off Soy 4 once. That wasn't my place. That didn't do a lot for me. But the other ones I mentioned, they were pretty good. Pretty good. Real Deal TV. Have you been in Kuala Lumpur? Is it worth a day? I worked in Penang for a number of years. I worked in what do you call it? KL. I worked in Penang, and I also worked in Johor Bahru, which is on the border between Singapore and Malaysia. But I've never actually been to KL, believe it or not. So I couldn't give you any advice on that. Let me just say welcome to Real Deal TV. You'll become a member tonight. Great. Okay, nice to have you aboard. Paul Hoskin, you could have a weekend break in Thailand if you lived in China or India. Worked in India for a year as well, believe it or not. The hotel, I can't say the word, but, it got kind of attacked. I was in that hotel, the Taj Mahal Hotel. I worked there for a year, believe it or not. That was before that incident happened. I'm glad I wasn't there when it happened because they were looking for white people to, get rid of. Jan K, thanks for the membership, Brian. Hopefully we'll have a good crowd in the members section tonight. I will be out. Maybe I won't talk too much because, it's hard to read comments on a mobile phone when you're walking. But just being able to point the camera around Bangkok, this area, should be worth an hour of your time. Real Deal TV, yeah, if I see a woman smoking, it puts me off. I just don't like the smell. It doesn't put me off to look at her smoking, but just the smell. Okay, No Name says... yeah, doing a visa run in 2 days for KL. KL is cool. A bit tame on the NN. Okay, work that one out. Bernie, how you doing? Talking about the Al Hussein again tonight. Another viewer who's joined me for a nice meal there was Bernie. Hi, Peter. With your upcoming visa renewal, excluding the driver's license and bank account, etc., is the visa cost a fixed amount? And is it your intention to renew for another 18 months? We can't renew it for 18 months, Bernie. You renew it for 12 months. I can't talk about costs. If we ever meet up, I'll tell you all about it, okay? Simply because Lana doesn't want me to talk about costs because her competition will know what she does, right? But good to hear from you again, Bernie. Jesse, are you still here? I met a Thai girl in Bangkok who was a smoker. I had previously quit smoking and was using my vape full time. I swear I had an awakening. I felt like Forrest Gump. She tastes like cigarettes. Yeah, I mean, you do. When you've been a smoker and then you smell, you're not a smoker, you smell cigarettes or someone, it all comes back, you know. Just got a very lovely looking girlfriend. Finn, Germany is full of immigrants as well. It's getting bad in Europe now. I mean, I'm not racist. You know, I was married to a Korean for years and I'm in Thailand now. But, you know, I heard in Sweden they're bringing out the military, you know, because there's so much real big problems going on in Sweden because of all these illegal migrants, you know, gang warfare almost, you know, and lots of stuff going on. You know, the president, is it a president? Is that who he is in Sweden? He's had a meeting with, or the government have had a meeting with the military commander to see how best they can deal with it. I mean, awful, right? Sweden, one of the most peaceful, beautiful countries. Didn't they make the Sound of Music there with, you know, the hills are alive singing around the top there? And now they're bringing out the military to handle these people. Terrible. I can see that kind of rolling right across Europe. Andrew Hammond. Hi, Peter. Just tuned in. I've lost count of what day it is. Today, Andrew, is Sunday because live stream. And yeah, good to see you, Andrew. Right. Rob, sir, what's happening to your membership, Dutch Farang? How is it? You know, Dutch Farang wasn't in the stream for quite a few weeks. I'd wonder what had happened to him. I do notice, you know, because it seems to be most of the time when I do these streams, it's you know, it's mostly regulars, you know. And when somebody drops out and I don't see that name, I do actually, you know, I'll be out doing something. I think, oh, I haven't seen Brian May in the stream for a while, or I haven't seen Donald Trump, or I haven't seen, you know, whoever it is. Some people fall away. There's a guy called Hedge Fund who watches Ed Sweeney's streams. He used to watch my streams. I haven't seen him for months, but you know, sometimes you'll watch somebody at the beginning, and think, oh, this guy's cool. I like listening to him. After a few weeks, I've done it on streams before. You get bored and you think, I don't want to watch him anymore. But it's typical. But I can still remember him coming into the streams, and there's a lot of them like that. But of course, you always get new people join up all the time as well, so that's nice. Okay, Martin, anyone had any tips about the Indian visa? I want to go to see the Cricket World Cup. Of course, when I went there, Martin, it was all done for me because when I worked in the hotels, the HR department, is that what they call it? Human resource? Yeah, HR department, they took care of all that. You know, we just went there to work. We didn't worry about visas, work permits and all that. Five-star hotel, they had muscle behind them. You know, they could do what they wanted. Unfortunately, I don't know. Right, Rain in Blood 123 says Manila isn't the same as Bangkok. Some areas you wouldn't want to be wandering around late at night alone. Yeah, I do get that, and you know, I remember when I went there years ago. You know, I was astounded to see nightclubs with, you know, guys with shotguns outside. And these are regular nightclubs that you take your girlfriend to, and they've got, you know, a couple of guys with pump action shotguns because robbery was so intense there. You know, right? What's Franco saying here? Capo being a member for 6 months is just a member milestone. Free chat. And Brian Flower sent 20 minutes. Yeah, I've said thank you to Brian Franco. He did 50 last week. Really generous, very generous. Real deal, two of you. Hey Peter, I'll be in Vietnam in February. Let's catch up out there. Well, real deal. If you know Vietnam, I mean, if you're just going out there for a vacation for the first time and you're like dumbass like I am, then there's no point. But if you know Vietnam and you've been out there and you know where to hang out, where the bars are and all that sort of thing. I'm not a late night person anymore, but yeah, I would make the trip and come out and meet you. Okay, thank you, Jake. That's very kind of you. If you haven't done a thumbs up, guys, give me a thumbs up if you'd like the stream because it does help with the YouTube algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything. It just helps me. Mark Hanley, Martin Riding may have changed. I flew from Sri Lanka, though. Okay. Andrew Hammond went to India on his trip, on his travels. He had a really bad problem with his sinuses. He had to have one of them cut out or something cut out. What happened? He was out and about, and he was staying in a real cheap, horrible, nasty hotel. He's a real proper backpacker, right? And some kids on the streets were filling balloons up with water and throwing them at tourists, and they were exploding on their chest. And some of this water got into Andrew's nose or his eye or something. And I've seen the pictures. His eye swelled up like an orange. Honestly, it was horrible. And he went back and he went to Bournemouth Royal Infirmary a couple of times, and they did some serious work on him. And he had to have some extensive surgery. And that was just from dirty water in India that had gotten into his eye socket. So, you know, you've got to think about these things. Damon, Peter, that sounds great. We'll definitely be watching. Okay, great. You'll have to watch out for the naughty, naughty ones, because I can't do anything when I'm out and about. Solar Life Portugal, Pupmaster 1, I had a $5 on that for London. Heavy smoker here, €5. Yeah, they're expensive in the UK, but it's mainly tax. Capio, good advice to succeed on YouTube. Be a 21-year-old female with big boobs. Yeah, look at the Rotty lady. I mean, she must take like $2,000-3,000 in one stream, you know. Right. Okay. Damon says, Peter, if you use tattoo at the bottom of soy 8 tonight, give him a stroke from me. He looks like a real mingy dog. I don't want to touch him. Half of his hair's hanging off. I haven't seen him since you left, honestly. I keep looking out for him. There's a biker's bar at the end of soy 8. Harley Davidson tables and all that, and they've got this mingy dog called Tattoo. He wanders around soy 8, but I haven't seen him honestly for weeks. If I'll look out for him tonight when I go out, but I'm not going to stroke him. I'm definitely not going to stroke him. Right, Kevin, I thanked you earlier, but there it is there, so I'll thank you again. Right, Scuba Steve, are you doing a member stream? Yes, you've come in late. I'm doing a member stream, and if it's not raining, I'll be outside with my selfie stick. Robster, 3-course meal, wine and coffee, €7. Where? LOL. Right, I think we're nearly there, guys. I'm going to chip off 5 minutes early tonight because I don't want to come back too late. I've got a busy day tomorrow. I've got a lot to do tomorrow, especially in the morning. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to chip off now, and then I'll be back with a member stream. I'm going to check the weather. I'm going to set my kit up, and I'll try and get back for 11:15 my time. So it's now 22, 24, 25, and hopefully, if the weather's good, what I'll do, I'll go out and I'll do a walkabout. The camera will be facing forward, and then you can see what's going on in Bangkok on a slow Sunday this time of year. But to Franco and Damien, the moderators, thanks for being in tonight, checking up on everybody. Thank you very much to Brian Flowers for very, very generous 20 membership. Very kind of you, Brian. I hope to be able to return the favor when I do finally catch you on a live stream. Thanks to all the new members, Capio included there. And most of all, thanks to you guys for joining me tonight. I hope it wasn't too boring for you from here in the room again, but I'm now heading out and I hope you can join me. Okay, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll catch up with you soon. All I wanna be